Welcome, everyone. We're so glad you're here. Today, we're talking about reacting to negative body image. How does it hold you back? And this topic is so dear to me because I see over and over people not living the lives they could live and not having the connections they could have because they have these stories that they've been doused with by media to create this belief that they're not good enough, they're not okay, that they're not living up to some impossible standard. And just talking about it starts normalizing it, but we're also going to give you some techniques near the end to help you reverse some of this and reclaim your power. I'm Kathy Bartoli from the Intimacy Dojo, and I'm here with the absolutely fabulous Rick Wilkes from Thriving Now. Rick, thanks for being here.
Hi, Kathy. Yeah, and I so appreciate that. What people probably don't know is that you have led groups and discussion groups and been there at conferences talking about the intersection between body image and business and sexuality and how we walk in the world. And
yeah, internationally. So it's really, I feel very honored that they'd have me come and talk about this because it is something I struggled with. Like, when I first started working with you, I was convinced nobody would ever date me because I was a big person. And I hadn't had a relationship in 14 years. I hadn't been connected with someone. And I realized I could wake up at the end of my life wondering where it went. And I didn't want that for myself. And Rick and Tapping and a bunch of other people helped me really reclaim a lot of that. One of the things I want to be clear, just like all emotions and all fears, it doesn't mean it's gone forever. It just means the reaction time is much, much lower. So it used to be, I believed it constantly, a fish in water. This is the truth. Big people can't date. They can't have sex. They're not wanted. To, oh, most of the time I can go on dates, have a great time. And there's times I really notice that it comes up, the fear, the doubt, the self-criticism. And when I notice it, there's actions I can take. And we'll tell you more about those as we go forward. One of the things I really, like Sasha was talking about before this call, we were chatting before, and one of the things I really struck me is she was talking about how her body, it's not only just how her body looks, but how it behaves. Like it should do these things, it should be healthy, and how we relate to that. And I was just remembering, I think it was The Black Swan. It was a movie about a dancer. And in order to make that person look and act the way that she was, they had 5 stunt doubles. So there was the main actor, there was a ballerina, there was, I believe, a martial artist, there was a body double, and I forget what the other, but there were like 5 people playing that person to give her that flexibility and that grace and that martial art,
and multiple takes.
Yeah, someone wrote the script. Actors were supporting. The stunt doubles had like padding and practice, and she got to practice multiple takes. And yet our brains see that. Our survival brain is looking to see how good do I have to be to fit into society to be valuable. And it sees that. It doesn't see the takes. It doesn't understand. It's a small dog intelligence in there. It's going, arf, arf, oh my God, I don't live up. And then we just crumple in ourselves. We're like, I can never be that. I can never be desirable. And that's really hard on us.
So we all come here with our own body image.
Yeah.
And there's noise in it.
A lot of noise in it.
And there are things that can get frozen. I want to acknowledge that as weird as it seems, some things happened to me in my teenage years, sexual trauma things that happened in my teenage years. And when I turned 40, I remember getting a massage from someone that was in my massage school. I went to massage therapy school, and I made a comment about how skinny I was. Mm-hmm. And she stopped and she said, "Who are you talking about?" And I thought about it, and she said, "Well, what size shirt do you wear?" "I wear a large." "How much do you weigh?" 182. She's like,
"That's not skinny."
My partner, you know him, right? He's Reverend Chip, right? And I said, "Yeah." "Is he a big man?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, you're bigger than he is. Trauma had locked in an outdated belief about my body.
Yeah.
Not just like the obvious that I'm not a scrawny kid or a scrawny man. And that was a lot of years ago. I don't have that self-image anymore, but that's not my body image. But I want in our awareness to hold a sacred space for, there may be very tender, vulnerable times where trauma or other people's attitude toward us can get stuck and stay as the present as well. Even something like, if I'm really vibrationally beautiful and happy, and my body will be healthy and strong, and that anything less than perfection is somehow like your body is letting you down.
Well, we have media doing that, like the actors out there that are like airbrushed, and there's still people picking on, oh, did you see, I could see her tummy, like she gave birth 3 months ago and she still has a tummy, like, or
I'm tapping on that one.
like we're trained that our brain sees a constant bombardment, and media, there's an estimated 300,000 negative images around fat alone in media each year a person sees, each year. That's brainwashing. Your primitive brain doesn't stand a chance unless you reprogram it and do some of the actions we're going to show later. Yeah. And one of the things we're doing a little bit differently in this call is we're talking about not just body image, which is really useful. We have some other calls about that, but we're talking about our reaction to our beliefs. So my shame was so deep. My reaction to my beliefs about my body was so deep that I would act in ways that, one, reinforced that I was undesirable and unwanted, and two, really kept people away. So it like I was steering into the negativity. I like the story. My sister was learning to drive, and she was on a 4-lane highway driving, and she saw this little black cat run across the road. And she was so scared about not hitting it that she was watching it, and she was like following it. She was steering, and the cat's like, trying to get away. Like, we steer into it because we have our reactions, and we don't know that we can step out of them. And we want to help you start to break that cycle, disconnect the belief from our reactions a little bit, or just more quickly, so that we can go, oh wait, I don't have to follow that path. The ruts worn in the road, those don't serve me anymore. I'm going to drive a different way. I'm going to pause and choose something else. And that's what we want for
you. Take us through that process.
Could we do a little tapping on the belief? You stuttered a little. You broke up a little. I wasn't sure what you said.
Do you want to take us through that process? Yes, tapping on the belief would be a great place to start.
So one thing you can do is just take a deep breath. If you can feel your body, feel the sensations in your body, that will slow it down a little bit. Because often what happens is we go from that impulse, that belief, I'm not good enough, I'm too fat to date, my body isn't behaving the way it should, to shame, guilt. Like there's no gap. It's like belief, reaction.
Yes.
And anytime we can add even just a little, Rick talked about another call, the microsecond or millisecond of space, our cognitive brain has room to get in there and go, is this really what I want to do? Is this serve me the best? And sometimes it's just feeling the feelings and processing and tapping. And sometimes it's choosing something different. And the more we practice it, the muscle builds up where we're not like thought, reaction to thought, pause, choose, deep breath, reaction, or pause, reaction, oh, breath, choose different action. And please don't let it be like, I'm going through a lot of personal stuff right now, and I notice my fears around my body, the beliefs are stronger than they were for years. It's okay. It's just part of the process. When we lean on old things, when we have less resources or we have something come up that we're not quite sure how to handle, it doesn't mean we're bad or broken or we didn't heal it. I had to go through that. Like, I thought I was fixed. I've talked about this on international stages. What's happening? Oh, I have a lot of stress in my life right now. My brain is defaulting to things that worked in the past.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to take a nice, slow, deep breath, I invite you to feel your feet on the floor. Notice the texture, the sensations that you're feeling from your feet on the floor. Are you wearing socks or shoes? What's the temperature? What's the texture? Are they feeling relaxed or tense? Just notice them. Notice your feet. Maybe flex them a little bit if that feels good to you. Notice how your chair is being supported. Your butt's being supported by the chair. And another nice, slow, deep breath, and breathe down to your toes if you like. And if any of you are tired of hearing this, we repeat this every call pretty much. We're doing this because it's like weightlifting. If we do it enough times for you, then you're in a stressful situation. You'll almost hear our voices saying that, or your body will naturally reach for that. But it really is like going to the gym. You have to repeat that over and over because most of us weren't taught to ground ourselves and be present in the moment. We were taught to push through, shove it down, block it away. And that's one thing that makes reactions worse. When we try to just tough out the shame, when we try to shove it away and pretend it's not there, sometimes it's useful short term, but long term, if we don't go back and clear it, it's going to swamp us. So I'd love to do a little tapping on just that reaction, that shame that comes up. So if you're feeling a lot, just keep tapping. Sometimes if you just hold the points rather than tapping on them, that can be a little more soothing, a little more grounding. If you need to take a pause, this can bring up a lot. We have some grounding exercises on thrivingnow.com/grounding. And that can help you, just like if you're getting triggered or upset. We want to break the cycle of the shame leads to this horrible feeling and we just get caught in the spiral. So one more deep breath. Karate chop. Even though I have this reaction.
Even though I have this reaction.
This deep, intense shame.
This deep, intense shame.
My body is not good enough.
My body is not good enough.
And my primitive brain is terrified.
And my primitive brain is terrified.
I feel that in my body.
I feel that in my body.
And I choose to take a deep breath anyway.
And I choose to take a deep breath anyway.
Even though I'm having this reaction.
Even though I'm having this reaction.
It feels like there's hot sparkles through my whole body.
It feels like there are hot sparkles through my whole body.
And I just want to slink away and hide.
And I just want to slink away and hide.
Maybe it's just my brain telling me an old story.
What if it's just my brain telling me an old story?
And I get to believe it or not as I choose.
And I get to believe it or not as I choose.
Top of head, this intense shame.
This intense shame.
Eyebrow, my body doesn't look like that.
My body doesn't look like that.
Side of the eye, my body doesn't move like that.
My body doesn't move like that.
Under the eye, my body won't fit in those clothes.
My body won't fit in those clothes.
Under the nose, my body doesn't make everyone turn and look.
My body doesn't make everyone turn and look.
Shame, or maybe it does it for the wrong reasons.
Or maybe it does it worse for the wrong reasons.
Collarbone, I'm having this really strong reaction.
I'm having this really strong reaction.
Under the arm, and maybe I can take a deep breath anyway.
Maybe I can take a deep breath anyway.
Top of the head, and reach towards a place where I care about my body.
And reach for a place where I care about my body.
And have less strong reactions about the shame.
And have less strong reactions about the shame.
Nice deep breath. And just notice how your body feels. Sometimes what happens is more strong emotions come up. They're like, me, feel me, clear me. And sometimes we'll feel a little bit of space just acknowledging that some of that's there. Because media is constantly shaming us that we don't fit in, we don't belong. If you're a little bit older or a little bit balder or a little bit bigger, if you watch conventional TV, if you don't look like the gender you were born in, like there's a lot of shaming. I love to watch sitcoms with the sound turned off. You'll see, it's much easier to see the stereotyping that comes in. If there's a bigger person or an older person that are like trying to be a little sexy or feeling frisky or whatever, they're often laughed at. They're the butt of the jokes. They're the people that don't have the good jobs or they're awkward. We're all awkward. All humans are awkward. but we're so conditioned to think that we have to look a certain way, and then all of the lighting will be just right, and our hair will blow in the wind, and everyone will want us because we see the media constant exposure. So just knowing that, and notice when that kicks in, the shaming that we're getting is imposed. They want to sell us things, therefore they tell us that we're not good enough. The average person that reads a Cosmo to cover feels 30% less good about themselves.
Even though they're, what would you call it, coming after me?
Even they're brainwashing me.
Even though they're brainwashing me with their images.
Even though they're brainwashing me with their images.
And they don't want me to feel good about myself.
They do not want me to feel good about myself.
I won't buy as much makeup.
I won't buy as much makeup.
Or hair plugs.
Or hair plugs or diapers.
Or beer.
Or beer.
Humans are humans.
Humans are humans.
And they're not how they're portrayed in the media.
And they are not how they're portrayed in the media.
And neither am I.
And neither am I.
Top of head. It's okay to separate myself from the brainwashing.
It is okay to separate myself from the brainwashing.
Eyebrow. That's not what I see in the mirror.
It's not what I see in the mirror.
Side of the eye. It's not who anyone sees in the mirror.
It's not who anyone sees in the mirror.
Under the eye. And it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's pervasive.
It's pervasive.
And I'm tired of feeling so ashamed.
I am tired of feeling ashamed.
My body is really remarkable.
My body is really remarkable.
Under the arm. Even when I hate it.
Even when I hate it.
Top of it. It's doing some miraculous shit.
It is doing some miraculous shit.
Including turning food into shit. And I say that because it's primal. You know, there's a quality to us that is doing things that are extraordinary, even in our illness, even in our weaknesses, our vulnerabilities and the like. And I can say that and know that there are times when the argument would come up. And it's okay. If the argument about your body being amazing is coming up, it's okay. You can back it down a step. Like, well, it is somewhat useful. My body's somewhat useful. It's a pain in the ass. It's useful. It's a pain in the ass. And I'm really tired of being ashamed of it. What if it's not me? What if it's something I can distance myself from? I'm open to distancing myself from, deassociating. And you'll notice I just use words, whatever came to me. Do that for yourself too. There is, as Kathy mentioned, the brainwashing is about like hitting you in your status. Like, oh, I'm just flipping through Cosmo at the dentist. And I feel worse about myself, you know? And most of the bodies in there are not my body. They're not a male.
Anybody's body.
They're not anyone's body.
Anybody's body. Nobody looks
right.
like that.
And so, like, the good news is that we have developed a capacity, if we exercise it and give it some attention and compassion, like, oh God, of course I was brainwashed. From the time I was 3, I've been brainwashed. What does it mean to look like a man, a woman, a person? My age, it's so much noise. And our brain actually has the capacity to start actively, consciously creating some distance between a reaction that we have to an image like that and our own identity, our own core.
Well, and I love one thing Rick's doing is he's all those thoughts that are spinning in our head all the time. He's speaking them out loud while he's tapping, which makes them a little more conscious, and it lets our cognitive brain get in the mix too and go, wait, not all of those are useful. And then just kind of breaks the cycle, because otherwise they're just, our friend Reed Mahalko talks about a hamster on the wheel. Like they're just spinning and spinning. And I think that's one of the things that happens, and we're so trained to shame ourselves, to blame our body and to avoid the feelings that we're having because they feel awful.
Yeah.
They feel horrible.
They feel awful.
And we have this little hamster going, trying to go faster to win, trying to go, we're doubling down. Like if I shame my body enough, if I shame and blame myself enough, I will suddenly stop doing whatever behaviors it is that make me less attractive or not good enough. When the actual truth is that shame and blame and avoidance are literally the things that keep us from having a good connection to our body and feeling good in it. We'll double down and like the blaming, we blame the things we want to avoid. Like I know when I read a Cosmo magazine, I'm going to probably want to eat something because it's the only way I can comfort myself or feel connected to my body. There's a lot of people that eat or spend money they don't want to, or do things that are not actually looking at the problem. They're trying to avoid that shame. And when we have all that shame tacked down, it's not attractive to other people. And I really don't think, from myself, there's certainly people that don't like bigger people. No problem. People don't have to. I much prefer people have actually looked at it rather than been brainwashed about it. But some people don't want to go out with a bigger person. Well, I've had as many dates as I've wanted to go out on with really wonderful people. And I realized so much of what the avoidance was I was so full of shame and anger about this and anger at myself. I was scary. Like, it was like, that's like a big pile of sludge over there. I was just pushing it down and trying to pretend it wasn't there, but people can tell when we're feeling that. And that really, it just made the cycle worse because I was trying to push it down and pretend. I was trying to blame myself more, avoid my feelings more. And it just created this cycle where my self-esteem was damaged by it. So it was further proof that I wasn't in control, my body was no good, that it was just this like perpetual hamster wheel of trying to double down, trying harder. And if you've tried harder, I'd love to just do a little tapping, if it's okay with you, Rick, on just the trying harder in the wrong way. So if you feel drawn to, take a nice slow deep breath. Remember the grounding exercises. It's going to be a really tough topic for some of you. And if you have thoughts or ideas coming up that you'd like to share, please leave them in the chat box. Karate chop. Even though I've tried so hard.
Even though I've tried so hard for so long.
Doing everything I can think of.
Doing everything I can think of.
To make my body behave.
To make my body behave.
To make me make my body look okay.
To make me make my body look okay.
I've tried shame.
I've tried shame.
I've tried yelling.
I've tried yelling.
I've tried blame.
I've definitely tried blame.
And I've tried avoiding everything I'm feeling because it feels like crap.
I've tried avoiding everything I'm feeling because it feels like crap.
What if I could just be here with my body right now?
What if I could be here with my body right now?
What if I could be with every pound and wrinkle?
What if I could be with every pound and wrinkle?
The hairs that are in the wrong place are not there at all.
The hairs in the wrong place are not there at all.
All the ways I don't match what I think I should be.
All the ways I still don't match the ways I think I should be.
What if
They think I should be.
Yeah.
I think I should be.
Oh, we internalize it. What if I could just be here and now with me?
What if I could just be here and now with me?
Top of the head, I've been doubling down.
I've been doubling down.
Eyebrow, I just pile more shame on myself.
I just heap more shame on myself.
Side of the eye, I blame my body all the time.
I blame my body all the time.
Under the eye, every time I don't fit, I turn up the volume.
Every time I don't fit, I turn up the volume.
Under the nose, and I spend a lot of time avoiding.
And I spend a lot of time avoiding.
Chin, when I can crawl away and get away from all the blame.
When I can crawl away and get away from all the blame.
Collarbone, but you know what? It's not working.
But it doesn't work. Not for me.
I've been doing this for a long time.
I've been doing this for a long time.
Top of the head, and I do not feel better about my body.
And I do not feel better about my body when I do that.
Eyebrow, my reactions just seem to be getting worse.
My reactions seem to be getting worse.
Side of the eye, and that's making it even harder to be me.
And that's making it even harder to be me.
Under the eye, what if I tried something different?
What if I tried something different?
Under the nose, they say insanity is trying the same thing over and over.
They say insanity's trying the same thing over and over
Shannon, hoping for a different outcome.
and hoping for a different outcome.
Collarbone, what if I tried something different?
What if I tried something different?
Under the arm, what if I just tap just like now?
What if I tap just like now?
Top of the head, I acknowledge there's a lot of shame there.
I acknowledge that there's a lot of shame there.
Eyebrow, I honor my body for holding all that shame.
I honor my body for holding all that shame.
Side of the eye, and I send apologies to my body for all the blame I've given it.
I send apologies to my body for all the blame and shame I've given it.
Under the eye, I'm sorry, body.
I'm sorry, body.
Under the nose, I thought I was helping you.
I thought I was helping you.
Shit, I thought he was helping me.
I thought it was helping me.
Collarbone, but maybe not.
But maybe not.
And then maybe I'm willing to tap on all those feelings I've been avoiding.
Maybe I'm willing to tap on all the feelings I've been avoiding.
Top of the head, and open myself to a new way of being with me.
And open myself to a new way of being with me.
Nice deep breath.
Whew, a lot there.
So just feel into your body, notice what's coming up. You're welcome to chat with us. We can weave it into some tapping perhaps. And it is a lot. These reactions, I think having all the shame, blame, and avoidance that we pack into our lives gives it spring. It's like a springboard, trampoline. So we have a reaction. Maybe somebody says something to us and it causes, it's like a nuclear reaction. It's like, ow, oh wait, all these other times I didn't heal are pinging in my body. So our reaction isn't about that person that said something that sounded negative or hurtful. It's like about all the thousands of times or all the times we saw someone on TV and silently judged ourselves. And that reaction can be so strong that it feels better just to shut it down. It can occur to us as proof that we are not good enough because we have that reaction. When the reaction is really not about our body not being good enough, it's about all the times we were hurt and didn't know how to heal it.
Let's just let that settle for a moment. Let's all slow down just for a moment and just feel into your body. Maybe move it a little bit. Notice how muscles and bones and joints are working together. And even if there's tension or even some pain, noticing the complexity of what your body's doing for you right now. Being able to hear, see, and be present with, while noticing in your own body the breath. It seems simple, being aware that there are influences outside of us that have their own desires for our behavior, for how we see ourselves, that are actively working to get our brain to react a certain way, not respond, but react a certain way.
Well, and then respond by pulling out our wallet and trying to paint ourselves or cover ourselves or whatever it does we do.
Yeah. One of the simple things is creating some distance, some perspective. Like, oh yeah, they are actively doing that, and creating a sense of yourself that's independent of that. And for some of us, it might have been a parent or a sibling or a lover or someone else that still is actively have their own agenda for how we are, including our level of health and well-being and emotional vitality, whatever it is?
I try very hard because my mother has been in the past, especially very critical of any, like when I weighed 119 at 5'3", she was like, no, you should be 115. Like there was a lot of pressure on that. And what I try to do now, whatever I can, is notice that they probably feel threatened and scared themselves. If they're being really vehement about it, they believe this. It's not that they're trying to be mean. They don't have, like, even you listening to this hour call, you're way ahead of a lot of people on this. A lot of people are that fish in water and don't even know water exists because it's constant. You at least know there's water and that there's might be something else, like, and some of you are further along than that, but like just that awareness can give you an edge they don't have. So I try to remember that they really care about me and they want me to, based on what they understand, they're trying to help me, even though it may not be actually helpful, and that they might be really scared themselves about the same thing. So they're trying to struggle with the water, not realizing that maybe just stepping out of the water is what they need to do. So it just helps me be a little less angry, because it's hard when someone's putting pressure on you about the same thing that you're trying to overcome yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's part of that ecosystem of like healing, is the awareness that there are dynamics at work, selfish dynamics, fear dynamics, compassion for them. And sometimes creating the distance can be like, I am so done with their attitude toward me, my body, my temple, my discoordinated thing, however you decide to embrace yourself, that can also help at times create some distance.
Yeah.
So that bit of detachment, distance, the right distance for us from these external attitudes about our image is usually further away, letting them be further away than right there inside of our skinosphere.
Yeah, I love that, the skinosphere. That's wonderful. Yeah. So I'd like to start talking a little bit about steps you can do to break the cycle. And I think it's very powerful to step into the shame and then step out to a solution, and step into the shame, step out. It's what it's doing. It's just like if you want to get better at climbing stairs, if you go to the gym and you climb, like you have to practice that. We're going to be walking through the world. There are going to be times when we feel ashamed. I have less body image shame than a lot of people, including people that are very conventionally attractive by my book. And one of the things I've noticed is sometimes the people that are very conventionally attractive are more caught up in this game than people that are, some people that are not as conventionally attractive we've learned how to get our rewards other ways. Our identity isn't wrapped up in that. Like if someone calls me stupid, that would be more insulting than someone calling me fat now, because I have an identity about being relatively smart. But people that are caught up in the game, like where they've kind of won once in a while, even though they can never fully win, there's more like, I need to get there. If I just try a little harder, there's more scramble. And that's really hard on people. So just realizing that some of the rewards for doing this work are a freedom, an ability to be with people just as they are. And I know I've used it as a distancing technique before to judge other people. I judged myself very harshly at that time, especially, but I would be like, oh, that person's fat, so I don't need to get to know them. That person's too old. That person doesn't take care of themselves. Versus, this person seems interesting. Let me see if there's a mutual, it was a way to keep my, intimacy fears kept people away using that judgment. So I've really found the more I work on this, the more I can just be with people as they are. I can often be with myself as I am. And there's certainly times where the judgment comes up. Please don't think you're broken if that happens. It's about noticing it and stepping out of it. So one of the first things I've found really, really helpful is to just be grounded with your body. Spend even 30 seconds being with your body. And Rick really helped me with this when I was first struggling with that, because I had no concept of being with my body. My body was something to bludgeon, beat, blame, push away, avoid, try to force it to do things. There wasn't just oh, what if I just took a breath and noticed my body? So I've been doing that throughout this call, but I just want to make it conscious as something that can be a very powerful way to break this cycle. If you're reading Cosmo and you just notice the tension, like, I don't look like that. I'm not 7 feet tall and 2 ounces of weight, and I don't fit in that gold lame that they probably painted on this person. Like, our brain is comparing ourselves always. It's like, okay, put the book down or magazine down. Get in your body if you can. Feel your feet. One of the things, if you can actually feel your toes rather than thinking about feeling your toes, actually feeling them. That's why we asked for the sensations. You have to be pretty present with your body to feel your toes. So if you can take a nice, slow, deep breath, I'd invite you to practice now. And imagine that breath is going down your spine, down each vertebrae, all the way down to your tailbone, and then down each, like I imagine it going through the thigh bones, and then the shin bone maybe, or the bones of the leg, all the way down through the feet, through each toe. And sometimes I imagine each toe has little lungs that I'm breathing into. So take a nice, slow, deep breath like that. And if you notice that breath only gets down to your throat or the top of your chest, it's okay. You're practicing. It's like you're going to the gym. Maybe you need a spotter a little bit to breathe deeply, or you're feeling more stressed than other times. But if you can breathe, really imagine it going through each, like however you want to imagine it going down all the way to your toes, and just being present. And a friend taught me this really cool techniques. If you want more calm and acceptance, a lot of times we try to imagine we're breathing it in. But if we feel like there's a lack of it, there's not a lot of it, imagine that you're actually exhaling what you need. So I found this really clever. I was surprised how much it worked. So if you're working for more, say, self-acceptance right now, or body, feeling better about your body, take that nice breath in all the way down to your feet. And then when you exhale, imagine that you're exhaling this energy of acceptance. And the next breath, you're bringing it in through your whole body. And then you're exhaling more of that acceptance out to the world. You're inviting the universe to help you generate it and put it out in the world, and it's there for you to breathe in. And then breathe some of it out. Like we get to generate what we most need rather than hoping that it will come by. Our hearts are very, very powerful, and we can ask the universe to help us. And then if you'd like your eyes to come open and just notice how you're feeling in your body. So we spent about 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes doing that. For me, I feel much calmer and more grounded. My body feels open and like it's got kind of nourishing oxygen and energy running through that. So if we can pause, if we can stop that reaction, and we maybe only have time to do 30 seconds or 20 seconds, but the more we practice putting that exercise in there, the faster we can step through this.
Yeah. Breathing out what the energy is that you're wanting to alchemize. We take a breath, we take food in and we turn it into muscle and fingers and things, and we take breath in and we can alchemize that into something that nourishes us.
Yeah. I thought it was clever because I was always trying to breathe in, and sometimes I didn't feel like there was enough in the air to breathe. Like I was like scrambling for it, and he's just like, invite the universe to generate it in your body and like breathe it out, like create it for the universe. And then you have some to breathe in and you can create more. And I just found a relaxation when I did that. So I thought I'd share that.
And we take breath in and we turn it into song and voice. And so it's a vibration. We get to do that. Thank you. That's sweet. It's a good reminder. And for many of us, a new possibility vibrationally around our breath. What's next?
Well, I'd love to just have, can you look in your body and just because we want to step into the shame and then back out to the next step you can do to break the cycle. So Rick, would you be willing to just tune into your body and see if there's any shame or feelings of tension in your body, any beliefs that you'd like to share?
So when I get pains in my neck, the energy of my dad had a terrible spine. My mother has a terrible spine. I mean, medically told by their orthopedic surgeons. Wow, my dad was told by Mayo Clinic, wow, this is one of the worst spines ever that we've seen in someone that can actually stand.
Wow, thank you so much, Mayo Clinic.
Great. And my mom, too. I'm a very different person. There's a sticky, icky kind of feeling to that. And it also holds to like when I was a teenager and getting taller really fast, and also having shame that I was hiding. I used to have a really, really neck forward. And so there's some of that too. Yeah, it just, when there's a pain there, it's connected to kind of a shame of my lineage and
Yeah.
it doesn't make logical sense. You can almost hear, you can probably tell my hesitation is that I'm trying to make logical sense of this, but it's a body sensation.
Yeah, and you have that belief, even though you're incredibly flexible and fit dancer, and like there's a lot of evidence to outside people that you're not skinny, so to speak. So
Right, and then there's that the progressive loss of confidence that comes from that arising and having, not, and I have done things on this, but like right now, I went to the chiropractor yesterday, and one of my C2 right up at the top of my skull was like pretty well twisted, and I adjusted well. I've got much more movement, but there's still the shame, kind of reactive, blah 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 blah. It doesn't even have good words to it. It just feels like it's impactful.
thank you for sharing that. I love how you can make it really conscious. If you're listening to this and you're noticing an area of your body that has a tension or energy or congestion or a belief, just invite you to tune into it, maybe type it down, write it down, and notice, like, what is the belief about this? So, Rick, if I got yours right, it's my spine is not good, or in my family spines aren't good. And we might have, our family is always fat, or our family always gets wrinkles right here, or it might be I shouldn't have gray hair. I've noticed a few more lately. So like, whatever it is your belief is right now, and this is something you can do to start breaking the cycle, sometimes means looking directly at the belief and doing some tapping. So Rick, can we just do a little tapping for your neck, and then just invite people to change the words if you want? Or one of the things they found is you can say the exact words Rick and I are saying. If you've tuned into something, your brain is going to translate it for you. And sometimes it can feel a little less confronting because you're not like saying the words yet. But the more you can clear these beliefs out, the less it's like clearing one of the landmines in your body that things are pinging around and creating this reaction. There's one less landmine for it to react off of. So take a nice deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
Rick is welcome to change the words as I say them, and you're welcome to change them too. Karate chop. Even though I have this belief about my spine and my neck.
Even though I have this belief about my spine and my neck.
And it really affects my body image.
And it really affects my body image and limits me.
It creates reactions. Those beliefs create reactions I really don't want to have.
Those beliefs create reactions I do not need.
And I'd really like to shift those now.
And I'd really like to shift those now.
Hey, universe.
Hey, universe.
These beliefs seem pretty deeply embedded.
Yeah, these beliefs feel really deeply embedded, like even to my DNA.
We might say bone deep beliefs.
Bone deep beliefs.
And I would love some help shifting them.
I would love some help shifting them.
Could you show me in lots of ways?
Could you show me in lots of ways
that I am loved?
That I am loved.
And safe.
And safe.
And that I can release this belief.
And I can release this belief.
Please help me.
Please help me.
Top of the head. Universe, I could use your help with this one.
Universe, I could use your help with this one.
Eyebrow. My primitive brain is pretty freaked.
My primitive brain is pretty what?
Freaked.
Freaked. Mm-hmm.
Side
At
of the eye,
times,
afraid I'm not going to survive.
afraid I'm going to be in a lot of pain, not survive.
Under the eye, it's afraid I won't be good enough for my community.
Afraid I won't be good enough for my community.
Under the nose, it's afraid I won't be good enough to be loved.
It's afraid I won't be good enough to be loved.
Chin. And I'd like to release
Or
this.
I'll be a burden.
Yeah.
Burden that's coming up.
Okay. Collarbone, I'd like to release this belief.
I'd like to release that belief.
Under the arm and the energy that's stuck in my neck.
And the energy that's really stuck in me.
Top of the head so my body can be healthy and relaxed.
So my body can be healthy, relaxed, and actually live its potential.
Thanks for your help, universe.
Thank you for your help, universe.
Nice deep breath. When we do that kind of tapping, sometimes particular beliefs or thoughts or experiences will come up, and that's a really good time to write them down. Because what's happening is your brain's saying, these are the reasons I'm holding on to it. This is the legs under the table Gary used to talk about that all the time. Like the beliefs that are holding up the table about maybe your neck or your weight or your wrinkles or whatever it is, how your body moves or performs. So if you have specific thoughts, memories, beliefs coming up, write those down and do some tapping on them. You might come to the Thriving Now Circle is a great place to do that. That's at thrivingnow.com/circle. And that's a really powerful place to like clear some of this energy so you don't have to carry it around. So doing tapping and looking at the particular belief that's holding you back is a really powerful way to release this cycle and change it. So we've talked about just being present with your body with breath and attention, and just breathing out and in the things that you want to have more of, letting yourself be present with your body and whatever that is you want to create. We talked about tapping and facing some of the things that are coming up. And the third thing that I found really helpful, and Rick taught me this, is gratitude and appreciation. And I always forget it. I always remember it when I'm in a lot of pain, because I get in enough pain that I'm like, oh yeah, that thing. If you can, when I was first starting with Rick, I didn't have any appreciation for my body at all. Like I literally hated my body and wanted it to just die. And he would like help me like, okay, I want you to look in the mirror tonight and I want you to find 3 things you appreciate about your body. And I'm like, there's nothing about my body. And he's like, okay, let's try right now. And I'm like, okay, well, the skin on the back of my hand doesn't suck.
I remember that. The skin on the back of my hand doesn't suck.
Like that's as high as I could go at that point. Like it was really hard. But like
I think that you gave your eyes a little bit of.
My eyes weren't too bad.
Okay, yeah.
But it was like, literally struggling to find anything that was like not horrible. And this is a muscle. This appreciation is a muscle as well. So like, okay, I'd start there. And I was like, oh, my arms are kind of strong. And, like I could find other things. But his assignment for me was to find 3 things. I was supposed to look in the mirror and tell my body 3 things I appreciated every night.
And to be clear, someone who hears that suggestion, invitation, as the first step is going to have a much harder time than if you can be present with the feelings that are coming up and present with your body a bit and its discomfort or whatever is there, and do some tapping on what's alive for you. That leaves some space that my own sense is that the energy of that which we can be grateful for is all around us.
Yes.
It's abundant. And there's nothing, it's just like air doesn't blow through my skin, okay? I have to be in a place where I'm taking it in the right way, in a way that nourishes me. Gratitude is a similar kind of energy that when it's right for us and we have the flow where we can take it in and be in that. If you can't get there right away, try these other, the presencing and the tapping, and then see if there's something that doesn't suck. Well, what doesn't suck right now?
Yeah.
And that may seem like not much gratitude, but I'll tell you, for a body, mind, spirit, all interconnected, for us to notice something that is working, it's not completely broken. Like, if I can move my hands, even if my neck hurts a lot at a time, it starts completing the picture.
Yeah.
The picture is one where we're embracing that which may be causing us some sleepless nights, while also other things which are sacredly supporting us too.
Yes. Yeah. So would you lead a little tapping on maybe some of this around resisting that and allowing the appreciation?
Yeah. So here's a little, we do something called inner tapping, thrivingnow.com/inner tapping. And there are times in, I think, all of our lives where we didn't have an hour together with a group of people that believe in being real and present with these feelings. And let's see if we can go back in time. If you have a picture of yourself at a time where you really could use some gratitude for yourself. And if it's helpful to you and you're in a place where you can, close your eyes and imagine you, and you're welcome to have Kathy or me or both of us or all of us here join you, or just yourself, walk in and give a nod of respect to the you that existed then. And invite that you, if they would like some relief, some sense of appreciation and gratitude, to join with you. And if they're not in that place, it's okay for you to hold that space. And let's just do some tapping. Let's do some tapping. Karate chop. Back then it was so fucking hard.
Back then it was so fucking hard.
Couldn't feel gratitude at all.
I couldn't feel gratitude at all.
Looking back, I see my courage.
Looking back, I see my courage.
And some pathetic points too.
And some pathetic points too.
But I'm still judging.
I am still judging.
But wow. But wow. That me got me here.
That me got me here.
And I'm grateful for them.
I am so grateful for them.
That took a lot.
That took a lot.
Sometimes even just to get up in the morning.
Sometimes just to get up in the morning.
And I wouldn't have the opportunity I have right now.
And I wouldn't have the opportunity I have right now.
To feel my feelings.
To feel my feelings.
To grow and heal.
To grow and heal.
And even love myself a bit more.
And even love myself a bit more.
If it wasn't for you, dear past one.
If it wasn't for you, dear past one.
Top of the head. I'm grateful for the me that had to go through that.
I am grateful for the me that had to go through that.
And did.
And did.
Eyebrow. I'm grateful for the courage I've had.
I am grateful for the courage I've had.
Side of the eye. And I've kept going.
And I've kept going.
No one really knows.
No one really knows.
No one really knows what it's like to be in my skin.
Nobody really knows what it's like to be in my skin.
Nobody really knows what it's like to be in my skin.
Nobody really knows what it's like to be in my skin.
Alone. I'm grateful for my skin.
I'm grateful for my skin.
That covers me and keeps me safe.
That covers me and keeps me safe.
The arm. And for my body.
For my body.
And all the time it has on it.
And all the time it has on it. It felt really good. I was flashing back to when I was like, I think I was 13, and my mom had taken me to the doctor. And it's burned in my mind because I was very muscular. I was working on the farm all the time, and I was as tall as I am now. And I weighed, I was on the scale, and it said 119. And the chart in front of me said that the range for my height should be 115 to 119, like the right weight. And she was like, oh, you have to watch out for that. Like she was really like it was really, I felt very judged, and that wasn't good enough. And my brain was thinking, but I'm wearing my sneakers, and like it was very confused because I was, and looking back at pictures, I was incredibly fit at the time. But my mom was she'd been brought up so conditioned about weight that she was scared for me. And like I flashed back to that, and I was just like sending love to that younger self, and it just felt really beautiful. So I appreciated that tapping.
So our hour together is almost to completion.
I wanted to invite people, if you're interested. Rick and I have done a body confidence program that we put a lot into, and it tackles these issues around all kinds of things, just how we move and how we take care of ourselves, to dating, to sexuality. And if you'd like to change your beliefs around this, one of the things that works the best is immersing yourself in the beliefs, like the new beliefs you want to have. So if you're trying to step out of the water and you're like, this water is not good for me, the best way to convince your survival brain that it's okay to shift is to be exposed to a lot of other people having beliefs and doing a lot of tapping. So everything we talked about in terms of the steps you need to take to clear this, being present with your body, tapping and clearing, being grateful, those are all things in this program, and we're offering $100 off if you use the link I just put in the chat window, and you'll be getting a couple emails about that too if you want to try that out. No pressure, but I'm excited about, I haven't seen a lot of things where it's focused on tapping around body image and releasing the shame. And we walk through our world carrying these beliefs. They are with us all the time, and how we interact with people is through this haze of our beliefs. And the other person has their haze of their beliefs, and it's hard to get to the authentic and feel that fulfilling, like, I really connected with this human being in whatever way we wanted to connect. So, or just feeling empowered in ourselves because we're breathing this haze often, and we can clear them out of the way and start feeling the abundance and the opportunity that can make a world of difference in how we impact the world, how we feel about ourselves. So that's just up in the chat window if you're interested. $100 off right now on the program. And that's just like as a tip, if you can hang out with people that are more positive, or at least consciously make time for people that are more positive or body positive, that will start changing your belief.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
So Kathy's very appreciative of who I was in her life at that time. My mom and my brother struggled with weight a long time, and I had developed certain kinds of, disruption around weight. But before I met Kathy, I did a lot of this type of thing, both inside of myself as well as how I relate to other people. And it allowed me to meet Kathy in 2007 in a place of, like, I could very easily see that it was more than just that the back of her hand didn't suck. And this is something that each time Kathy and I revisit this, and I've revisited inside of myself, we just revisited my neck, which, I'm already feeling my spine shifting.
Yes.
I'm a quick responder once I clear something. The more we do this, the more that everyone in our life will start feeling surprisingly safe with our eyes on them. And it's something that I've heard reflected back to me, and people aren't quite sure what to make of it. But the more that I've freed my own judgments and shame, and that is a process that I continue, the more that I can be with people, regardless of of what's alive for them, and not just see past it, but be present with what is beautiful, what is miraculous and sacred about their presence, about their existence in the world. And that's really dear to me, to be able to hold that space. And if that would be dear to you too, continue this. You may have gotten to a place where you're pretty darn comfortable in your own skin. You can take this same stuff and apply it to how you feel when you're around someone who is in their shame.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like, how do you start vibing? And that can build up a kind of resilience. So even now when I'm around my mom and she still has a Weight Watchers thing going on, I love you, Mom. You know, I feel the body that gave birth to me. I feel the body that held me and loved me. I feel the softness of when she held me when I was young, and the heart of her even now that holds and prays for me every single day. And those become much louder in my awareness of her because of this process, I feel.
And there's nothing wrong with doing Weight Watchers or whatever it feels right to you, but we'd rather you did it out of love and appreciation, not out of fear. Yeah. I also put the link up for if you want to identify where you're being held back more by these beliefs, theintimacydojo.com/body-image-quiz is a shortcut. Will take you to the quiz. Love your feedback and thoughts on that. Rick, thank you for being who you are and modeling this, because you helped me make steps on a journey that I didn't even know the journey existed. So
love you.
Yeah, I love you too. And what you model, like role models for other people, they don't have to be so scared. And you can literally watch somebody when there's that acceptance. You can watch them come into their body sometimes if they're willing, and just you can have a different relationship with them. So thank you so much, all of you, for looking at this tough subject and having the courage to consider breathing a different kind of water or air or changing your beliefs around this. We hope this helps you react less, and we invite you to check out the Body Confidence class and the quiz and let us know what you think.
Mm-hmm. And if you have any follow-up questions, support@thrivingnow.com comes to just Kathy and myself, and our mailbox is open to what's alive for you. So, thank you. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Rick.
Bye.